you're the first, I guess, podcast interview that I'm doing to promote the book.
What?
So
Let's go. Okay.
let's effing go.
Yes. Oh, awesome.
So you're going to get the full deal. I mean, I was looking at your questions yesterday. I was like, how honest does he want me to be? And I'm like, I think he's gonna want me to be 100% honest.
Oh,
So I'm
yeah.
like, let's
Yeah.
do it.
You
Let's do
bring it.
it. I'm
Let's
gonna bring
go.
it.
Yeah, I am very excited for this book, and like I feel like one of those I don't know, like I was gonna say Hollywood reporters, but that's not right. Like the people who get the screenings to movies early
Oh
and get to
yes.
see something because
Get
you
like
sent
the
over like
previews.
the
Yes.
preview transcript, and I
Yes.
was reading through
Yes.
that over the last couple weeks, and I was just like, this is like a blueprint for people for starting a photography business.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if the people don't know, tell us a little bit about. Well, first, tell us a little bit about you, and then also about the Photo CEO book, and we'll get into like
Yeah.
more of that, but just kind of like a little bit
A
of
quick
like this is
overview.
what it. Quick overview. There we go.
Yeah. So hello everyone again. Whenever someone asks this question, we always go immediately into our careers. And so I actually want to do it a little bit differently and just start with who Tamera is. So I am a friend, I am a granddaughter, I'm a confidant, I can be a loser sometimes, in the words of in the words of Moby. I can be funny and transparent and sad and complex, and I love naps. I love donuts.
Mm.
It's I love Thai food, and I love a good quality Marvel movie. And also, I am a photo producer, former photographer, and the founder of Darden Creative. Darden Creative is a stills and motion production agency for fun and welcoming, and I mean that completely, fun and welcoming brands and companies who champion diversity and inclusivity. I am also the author
Yeah, you're an author.
of the Photo CEO. Earn more, work smarter, and create photography business you love. Today is pub day for the book, which is crazy. This is over 10 years in the making, really, because the book actually encapsulates the last 10 years of my life and career.
Mhm.
But also, as you were saying earlier, John, it is I like to call it a non bro holistic approach to building a sustainable photography business that just works.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I think that is a very accurate representation of the
Yay.
book. And like, yeah, I am very excited for people to get their hands on this book. It was just like page after page of just like solid gold, and I was like, oh, this is great. This is amazing. So yeah, I love that it was it's been 10 years in the making, so this isn't like oh hey, someone told me I should write a book 6 months ago, so
Mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm.
scribbled some stuff down and sent it to a publisher. Like
Yeah.
this is like well thought out. Like you've been in
Yeah.
the industry for a while,
Yeah.
and all that. Also, thank you for starting with like your personal like who Tamera is and then going into business. I try to do that too whenever I'm introducing myself, because like, yeah, too many times we're just like, oh well, I'm a photographer and I do this, and then oh yeah, and I also have a
And I
family,
also,
and
right, right. It's
and
like,
I also do
that's kind
the
of important.
yeah, it's like you're a human first, and then you have
And I'm a
your
boss
work.
second.
Yes, yeah, and yeah, like a day full of Marvel movies, Thai food, and donuts sounds
I mean, it's
amazing.
the trifecta, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
go wrong with a combination like that.
No. No. I think last time we talked, my wife and I had recently um, watched through all of the Marvel movies up to that point. in chronological
Mm.
order.
Mhm.
And that was like our first real experience into Marvel.
Mhm.
And then we've just kind of been there ever since with all the new ones coming
I'm
out.
committed. I'm committed. I mean, they're definitely, I talk about this. I have a friend and we talk about Marvel and like the future of Marvel, especially with everything that just recently happened with, he who shall not be named.
Uh-huh.
Um and like what's going to happen to the future of Marvel, etc. But Marvel will bounce back. It is an entity that I think we can all, I'm being nerdy right now, but I think it's an entity that anyone can look at to understand how a business truly operates and functions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I think we forget that like these franchises are businesses. Like
Yeah.
they're figuring out marketing plans and strategies, and they're working on things, and they have employees
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
all of that too. And a lot of times it's just like, oh yeah, Marvel. It's like they make movies, and
Yeah, they make
that's all I think about.
movies. Yeah, they make movies and they do it really well, in my opinion, compared to other franchises.
Hmm.
And even though it's done on a much bigger scale, I still think there's little things and just terms of how they operate and how they're able to keep the story consistent, even though they bring on so many players,
So many new
like
characters.
so many new characters. It's out of this world how they're still able to keep the through line throughout,
Hmm.
all of these properties is actually quite inspiring. And I'm a nerd and I talk about business also in my Substack, and that's just something that I get really inspired by. Like, what can I take from this huge entity that
Hmm.
has, makes millions and billions of dollars, and how can I translate that in my, small business based here in DC?
Yeah. I think that is so fun to do. Like I don't know if it's just because I've been a business owner for a while and
Mhm.
been, educator teaching other business owners, and like that's just how my mind works now.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
like,
Same.
it's like that photographer eye whenever you walk into like
Mhm.
a room and you're just like, ooh, the light over there in the corner. Like
Yes.
I would put this over here,
Yes.
and this is like you're drawn to it. Like
Yep.
I'm also drawn to how other businesses are doing their thing.
Mhm.
Like I love like Duolingo and Scrub Daddy on TikTok, and just like how
Wow.
like chaotic their marketing strategy is, and how
So
many
chaotic.
so many people. Like I had seen Scrub Daddy at like Bed Bath and Beyond or something, RIP. But I
Yeah.
think they closed. They're the one
Yeah,
here has closed.
they've no, the one
I
in
think they're
DC
out of
is
here.
close to. They're gone.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like I had seen those like as seen on TV type deals, never purchased one, and then it just like this little, you know, embodied scrub brush was coming across my TikTok feed, just doing these insane videos, and I was like, "What is going on?" And then they influenced me, and I went and bought one, and
Yeah.
is good.
I'm
Um,
not on TikTok because it's just too much information download
it's
for
it's a
me.
lot. Oh yeah.
But I am on Threads, and you're right. The brands who
Hmm.
get it.
Hmm.
Duolingo, they have an account. They're chaotic on there too. So
Yeah.
is Nature's Valley, the granola brand,
Oh
granola
really?
bar brand,
Oh.
Rainbow Clothing.
Okay.
If there's any elder millennials watching this right now, Rainbow Rainbow Clothing on Threads is absolutely chaotic,
Okay. I'm gonna
and
have
I
to go
love
follow them.
it. Wendy's is another one, but they've always
Oh
been
yeah.
chaotic, even
Oh
on
yeah. From the Twitter
Twitter.
days.
Yeah,
Hmm.
incredibly chaotic, but it's fun. It's
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah.
They're able to somehow make it work. I have no idea how. Maybe it just speaks to maybe the pettiness that we all have,
Hmm.
and they're saying something that we probably would say.
Yeah. And then it's just
But
like
our lives are at
endearing.
stake, right?
Right. Yeah. Like we wouldn't say that, but
We wouldn't
Wendy's, you
say it,
can
but
say that.
I'll
And
repost it, Wendy's. I'll
exactly.
repost it.
Yeah. And I'll get your spicy nuggets whenever they're back. Uh,
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I also love that. Just like looking at other businesses and corporations and franchises and just seeing how they're doing stuff,
Yeah,
and then taking little bits of it and
little
implementing
bits.
that. Yeah, we don't have to copy the whole thing,
Mm-mm.
but but yeah, like I don't know, I like doing that too, and like just kind of talking about our industry,
Yeah,
photography, and
yeah,
everything. I know like our topic today is talking about, you know, women making more money, earning more, and like how that is revolutionary.
yeah.
Have you seen a change in the industry since like you started as a photographer to now for women in the photography industry?
So when I looked at this question yesterday, I was so conflicted because the answer the answer is yes and no
I
from
kind of thought that
my
might be
point of
your
view.
answer for
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
I think, well, first, thank you for the question.
Mhm.
Um, so I think visibility has definitely increased since I started. And I think social media is a huge reason for why we're able to connect and see more women photographers, women of color, trans, femmes within this industry. I think it's really inspiring to be able to see, excuse me, other women or other people that you identify with and
Hmm.
see how they are navigating this space and saying, if they can do it, then I can do it too. You
Yeah.
know, it's worth it for me to try. You know, when I
Yeah.
started, my goodness, even saying 10 years ago is kind of wild, but when I started 10 years ago, there was no one that I can really look at for inspiration.
Hmm.
Not just women or black women photographers, but black women photographers who specialized in product photography or still life. Like that just wasn't in my purview,
Yeah.
and I found that social media just really blew the doors wide open in terms of visibility.
Hmm.
So I find that from that aspect, I see that change. But on the flip side, I feel like nothing has really changed
Yeah.
because, even in doing my own research, and there was a survey that I saw, I forgot where, and so I apologize for not citing it properly. But pretty much the survey noted that about 50% of photographers who identify as women. However, there were only 12% of women represented in like editorial bylines.
Mm.
12%. And then when doing my own research, just from a revenue or just income standpoint, in 2022, the like average income or the average American income was about 54,000. And for white men, it was around between like 40 to $50,000, which, it's like, oh, okay, that's not bad. That's actually the average. Like literally
Hmm.
like 10% or more earn 70 or more.
Yeah.
So most people are kind of like in like this middle range. But compare that to women, non-binary people, people of color, you're looking at a median income of between 20 to $30,000
Mm.
a year.
Yeah. Like almost half.
Almost half. And so, although there is more visibility, it's not kind of translating to where it really matters, which is honestly in our bank account,
Hmm.
and I just want to take it even a step further. You know, our government, I don't know if I can curse on here. Please let
You
me
can
know if I
say
can.
whatever you would like to say right now.
So our government just really does not, if you're not a white male, no offense, John,
Yeah.
because you're cool. But if you're not a white male, this government just really doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And, you can say what you want, but we're talking about DEI rollbacks, you know, banning of books that really are a representation of American culture
Hmm.
that are written by people that do not look like white men. You have divestment from diversity and inclusion efforts. You have a country that can easily approve a federal mandate for maternity leave. We have a wage gap. We have the gutting of Roe v. Wade. All of this information that we then eternalize and say, well, we're not worthy. We shouldn't even try to advocate for more. And then when we do, in some instances, it's still not expected or accepted,
Yeah.
rather.
Yeah.
So you have all this information talking about the trickle down, theory by Reagan. Thanks, Reagan. But
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
you have all of this information, and so what happens? You have all of these institutions and all of these industries, not just the photography industry, but that's what we're talking about today. You have all these
Hmm.
industries that are taking this information and translating it to say, we can get away with treating women regardless of how they sexually identify and their ethnicity, and treat them less than men.
Yeah.
And so you have all these people saying, charge what you're worth, charge what you're worth. How do you do that when you're told to feel like you're less than?
Hmm. Yeah. When you're looking out and you're like, okay, I'm seeing that I am not valued
Right.
as much as others. So how can I charge my worth? Like, what even is my worth if, like, for them, my worth is lower than someone else?
Right.
And yeah.
And for me, like, just as someone who, you know, I moved to a new city. I only had $300 in my bank account. I was moving out of New York City. I was about to be evicted from my apartment, and then to go from that and then
Hmm.
earning, six figures in 2020, I was like, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
Like, what I am doing is not, there's no secret to this.
Hmm.
There is work, and also just having conversations with other women, like, no one goes into this industry or any industry expecting not to get paid. I can't speak for you, but I didn't go into this industry to be like, I love this so much that I'm going to do it for free. I don't know any
Right.
man who says that,
No. Yeah.
especially, if you found yourself, working and then being laid off, or, finding it really hard to get back into the workforce. Maybe you had to leave it, whether because you became a mother or because of health conditions, etc. Like, and so now you're like, you know what, let me bet on myself and try this out. And so people then pick up a camera, but then they don't know, okay, how do I actually make this a real business? And
Hmm.
so all of this information really informed me and inspired me to say, you know what, I'm not a coach. Like, coaching is not my ministry,
Right.
but there's information here. There are practices here that I've been able to repeat, that, as you said, can be a blueprint. It's not the way, it's a way for people to start building businesses, and really, more importantly, start to advocate for themselves, because no one is going to do it for you.
Hmm.
So what information can I impart to people to say, okay, this is what to expect, because no one's going to tell you this information.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that you said like it is a blueprint and not the blueprint. It's not
Right.
like this is what worked for you. And then someone else can take that and apply
Mm-hmm.
that to them and start their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where in the book, but you had said something about like, just go do it. And like I feel like that
Yes.
is it's just it's so simple and like so straight to the point, but we get in our heads so much of just like,
So
well, I
much.
can't start this business because I don't have this, or I don't have a studio, or I don't have
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And like even for me, like I have been getting more into brand and product photography, uh, and then we moved about 6 9 months ago, something like that, to a new
Mm-hmm.
house. And I have a smaller office. I have less space to set up a
Yeah.
studio. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, once we clear out this half of the garage, then I will start marketing more for doing more product stuff, and just
Mm-hmm.
kind of put it on the back burner. And it really didn't come to that realization until like maybe 3 weeks ago of, why am I putting this off? Like I'm putting these roadblocks in front of myself that don't need to be there, and saying I
Mm-hmm.
can't start until this.
Until, right.
Yeah.
And, that's why the first three chapters and the forward, I explicitly talk about my story
Yeah.
because when I started this business, I had no intentions of becoming a photographer. The original plan was what the business is today, which is to provide production support to photographers and to companies. And so when I started, I just served as the product stylist and the creative director. So I was the one pitching, I was the one networking, attending events, you know, all
Mhm.
that unsexy stuff that we
Yeah.
don't like to do. And I'm like, y'all, the money is there. Um, and I had a photographer who actually uh, shot the products. So that actually was the relationship. And
Hmm.
we were offering the services for free for like the first 6 months I was in business to just build a portfolio.
Right.
So the agreement was, if you love the image, well, first, I'm doing this for free for you.
Hmm.
So
So
I
keep that
have,
in mind.
so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And you're giving me full creative license to do whatever I want because you're not paying for this.
Exactly.
But if you love the images and you decide to post them on IG when IG was pure and
Hmm.
chronological, then all you need to do is give us the credit. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Brands were starting to give us the credit. So that was really like the origin story. And I get more in detail, but that's the summary of the origin story of the business. Eventually, like, I couldn't just keep offering the service for free. I had to figure it out. I couldn't
Right.
afford to pay him anymore. I really believed in this idea. It made sense. It felt right. I only had an iPhone at the time. And so I started capturing content for clients, getting paid like $1,500 with an iPhone and two soft
Yeah.
lights that
I
I bought from
love that.
Amazon. And that was how I was getting clients. That's how I was working with clients for like the first, I guess, official 18 months that I
Hmm.
was in business. And I have a picture. I wish I can share it with the group, but I have a picture. Someone took a picture of me because I had the foresight, I guess, to do an about video about Darden
Nice.
Creative at the time and like how to create your own flat lay. And he has a picture of me sitting on the floor of my New York studio apartment with an iPhone, literally like shooting content, two soft lights, continuous lights, and that was my studio. That
Yeah.
that was my home base and my studio. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You did it. Like you saw what
Yeah.
needed to happen. You're like, I have this like iPhone like 3GS or
Right.
something,
It
whatever
was like
was
a
back then.
5S. It was a
Okay.
5S.
All right. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I probably still had a 3GS at that point. I'm always like way behind. I still have an 11 right now, but
Oh my God, John.
well, I
You're a
know.
soldier. Come on
I'm a
now. At least
this
get a
phone
13
is
or something.
that's I'm probably going to be upgrading
Get
soon
a
because this
14.
is mine
14 is
is
pretty
out
good.
of out of memory and also starting to act up.
Act up.
Uh, but yeah, like you didn't tell yourself like I have to wait until I can get a DSLR
No
and
way.
I can get all this studio lighting and all of that. Like you did what you had or you used what you had and you just did the thing.
And can I
Yeah.
also add to like the
Hmm.
motivation was not being broke. Like sometimes, and
Yeah.
I do talk about this in the book too, like sometimes when people are like find your why is going to develop as you do, right?
Hmm.
So when I first started my business, survival was my motivation.
Yeah.
That was enough. You
My why
know,
is I need food and I need
my
to
why
pay for
is I
this
need
apartment.
food and I need to pay my bills and
Uh-huh.
this needs to work. Or the chip on your shoulder from a parent who's like, does this even make money? I talk about this, I think it's in the first or second chapter of like my when I told
Hmm.
my dad, like, yeah, I want to start this content creation business. He was like, does this even make money? Like, does this even make sense?
Yeah.
Like I had that chip on my shoulder and it was great motivation for me to be like, you know what, screw this.
Hmm.
Like
I will show you how
I will
much
show
this will
you.
make.
I will show you. Um, and sometimes that is just enough. Sometimes and I get it because like the right side of the brain, or the left side, whichever side is
I can
more.
never remember which one. But yeah,
Uh, but
that one. The one that we're talking about.
the one that we're talking about was I was like, I want to feel, feelings are not facts.
Hmm.
So if you're just starting out and you're really like, I want this to work. I just want this to work because I want to be able to put food on the table. I want to be able to have access to safer housing.
Hmm.
I want to be able to afford my health care. Like that is motivation enough. Like make sure
Yeah.
you put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you go out wanting to try to save the world because you can't really do that if you're not sustaining yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was that was a hard one for me because I'm like I want to help people and I want to do
Yeah,
stuff
absolutely.
and I burnt myself out hard in like 2018 I think,
Mhm.
2017 2018 of just like I was going and doing and I was
Mhm.
offering discounts for things because I was like, oh no, I see that you need this and I want to help you with this, and then like I was just putting oxygen masks on all the other passengers
Right.
and then I was just
Meanwhile, you're
choking over
passing
here.
out,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And I think like it's okay to help, right? I think it's okay to give
Yes.
back.
Mhm.
But I also think there's a time and a place for it. It's not saying that you can't do both, but you have to have priorities. You have to
Mhm.
prioritize making sure that you're okay first
Yeah.
before trying to save the world. I remember, I did not share this in the book, but I remember when I first moved to DC, I had this conference series called Find Your Light. And I did 3 events, did all the sponsorship, and it was great. I felt empowered, inspired. It was great helping other women and seeing the connections that were being formed. But I just didn't have the capital or the revenue to sustain it. And also, I was looking at myself like, okay, how am I going to bring in revenue for myself?
Right.
Like I put that on the back burner and I have no regrets. But sometimes it does take having to quit a thing
Mhm.
to help you set up for like the bigger thing, the next big thing. So
Yeah.
it's okay to quit. It's okay. And you can do it at any time. You can change your mind at any time.
Mhm. Yeah, like I really liked what you talked about in the book about like niching down and finding your niche and like
Hmm.
you had like a whole chart and everything of like
I
how
needed to
much
share
money
receipts. I have
it
to share
was
receipts
it was
because
great.
people will, knocked, oh, niche. I just love so many
Mhm.
things. we're human, we are multidimensional, but this is a
Hmm.
business. This is
Right.
not a passion project. You know,
Hmm.
like the receipts are there. It was additional proof
Yes.
because so many people hate the word niching down because they don't want to, be forced
Don't
into
want
a
to feel.
box.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't want to feel constrained, and I
Hmm.
totally understand that. And the way I look at it is like that. I mean, I talk about it extensively in the book. I feel like that chapter is like one of the longest chapters. That and the pricing chapter, which I think is like 20 or 30 pages.
Hmm.
But in the niche chapter, you know, I like to explain it like niche down, maximize your revenue, earn the money, make sure it's profitable, get it to a place where it runs on its own. And then
Hmm.
if you want to explore other interests, you can do that without jeopardizing your livelihood.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Yeah.
times people, think, oh, if I'm going to niche down, I need to niche down forever. And that's not what a lot of people are saying. Everyone has their hero product. Like when you think of product-based businesses, the logic is the same. Like
Yeah.
20% of your SKUs or products that you sell represent usually on average 80% of your revenue. It's the
Hmm.
same concept for a service-based business. There's always going to be probably one or two offers that you can constantly run that's always going to generate the most revenue for you. So it's really just, again, thinking in a way that is more business focused as opposed to feeling
Hmm.
focused, which happens a lot. And then we
Oh
get,
yeah.
lost
Yeah. Because
in the
like for
minutiae of it
me,
all.
feeling like I love doing my wedding photography. I do
Yeah.
love working with couples and photographing beautiful wedding days and elopements and all that. I also really love like spooky, scary, creepy Halloween photo shoots.
Yes.
And and I still do those. I do a few of those a year, but that's not my main niche. That is
Right.
not what I'm marketing. That like I
Right.
have a whole different Instagram for that.
Right.
And
You have to
like
share it.
yeah, oh, All Hard After Dark. Go check out All
Oh,
Hard After Dark.
okay.
But yeah, like that's not my moneymaker. That's not what
Right.
is funding the food for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Is people dressing up in masks and doing like spooky ghost photo shoots. That's just like that's something that I like.
It's fun.
It's the fun thing, it's the feelings. And yeah, sure, that would be cool if I could turn that into my full-time career. Maybe I would do that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I had to assess, do I go after what is paying the bills and continue to market that, even though I do like that too, or go after this other thing, which would be a lot harder to market to like scale to the point of
Right.
making the same amount.
Right.
So yeah, I think that that whole chapter is just like so great of like figuring out what you want to do and also what works best for your business, of
Mm-hmm.
just like this one you only need to book 4 people to make like multiples of what you're doing booking 8 people at this other thing.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, all that. So I love that. And like speaking of money and making money,
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit more about women making money.
Yeah.
And like what happens, like what happens when women are earning more money? What do you see with that?
I mean, I'll keep this short. In my opinion, nothing bad happens when women earn more money.
Hmm.
Nothing bad happens when women earn more money.
Yeah.
When women earn more money, communities literally shift, right? Women-owned businesses are more likely to hire other women
Hmm.
within their business. You know, Even speaking for my own production agency, most, if not all of my team members when I'm on set or like of my crew are women. You know, Women are also more likely to give back, you
Yeah.
know, to causes that really mean a lot to them. And on a personal level, it literally earning more can literally change the trajectory of your life.
Yes.
You can have access to safer housing. You can put more money towards savings or retirements or that dream vacation. You can leave an unsafe environment. You know, all of these things are available to you when you earn more. And that's not saying that there isn't social responsibility, right? So
Hmm.
there is still social responsibility. Like if I'm paying taxes, government, you should be able to provide some sort of social safety for us.
Yeah.
Um, but in the meantime, these are the things that happen when women earn more money. Like it's very clear, it's simple. There's reports, there's data, all of these things. Women are buying more houses or, being first time home owners, home
Hmm.
buyers, supporting multi-generational multi-generational households. I mean, nothing bad happens when women earn more money.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you there. It is I like looking at the I don't know, like the Forbes top
Mm,
10 people or something, like the Bezos and Musks
mm-hmm,
of the world.
mm-hmm,
Like we all know, like they are not generous people. They are like they're hoarders. And obviously not saying all men are hoarders. I'm not a hoarder. Like I don't have much to hoard as it is, but like like there are people who are generous and who do uh,
mm-hmm,
build up and who do look for uh, hiring women, hiring a diverse group of people to work for them. But like far and beyond, it seems like women are the ones who are like on the forefront of that.
yeah,
And I think a lot of that has to do with like for years and years, and you could argue still today, like women are more oppressed than men, of the way of just like you know people not taking them as seriously, or just like
mm-hmm,
oh well, I can't we can't have a female CEO in this business. No one would want to do
right,
work with us.
right.
And yeah, I think you
I,
had mentioned something about the uh, investors, and
mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm.
how yeah, I don't know, I'm trying to find the words. You know
Yeah.
what it
So
is.
essentially, and please forgive me, y'all, because the book has like over 28,000 words. So forgive me if I don't say this verbatim, but
Buy the book and then you can read the
buy the book and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
there we go.
But women, obviously, we get less investments like venture
Hmm.
capital, and women of color, it's not even a percent. It's not even half a percent. It's like 0.3%. It's kind of crazy. But they did a survey maybe a year or so ago, which showed that even though women get less venture capital, that they were out earning businesses that were owned and founded by men.
Hmm.
So when women earn more, when women have access to the knowledge of how to earn more, how to properly invest, we just make better choices. Like, I have nothing else to add to that.
Yeah.
Like we just make better choices, we make better decisions that not only positively and positively benefit us, but also like the community at large. So it's a
Yeah.
no-brainer, which why it makes me and other sane women so incredibly frustrated when we have all of this pushback against, honestly, where the direction of the country is going
Hmm.
from a makeup standpoint. It's becoming a lot more diverse. There are women exist,
Yeah. Yeah.
femmes, non-binary, trans, like this is America. And so I, I find I mean I still have hope in people, not necessarily my government, but I have hope that change is coming. Um, Revolutions are not built in a day, but I find that when I see all of these like rollbacks and anti-trans laws and all of these things, to
Hmm.
me, I think of it like someone in the corner, like taking their last stand, like almost desperate to
Yes.
grasp
Yeah.
power that just honestly is just no longer theirs.
Hmm.
So
When
only
you're
a hit dog will holler. That
yeah.
that is what we say in the South. Only a
Uh-huh.
hit dog will holler, and so that
Oh
is
yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah, it that is what it seems like. I mean, there's, when you're enacting laws from the Civil War era, like you're grasping at straws.
You're
Like you're
grasping at straws, my
it's
guy.
doing
You
everything
know,
you can because you know that your time at the top is coming to an end, and you're trying to do all that you can. Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, no, uh, I don't know. I just I get excited when I see women thriving. It is something that like it's just y'all do good. Like there's good in the world. And I don't know if it's like the circles that I run in, because like some people have talked to me about how like photography is a very like male dominated
Mm,
space, and I was like,
hmm.
oh, like I don't know a lot of other dude
Like
photographers.
I can't speak for you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in here with the ladies, and like those are my friends. Those are like I've had some people like, you have a lot of women on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, they're great. And like y'all have so much to say. And it's not like a well, this is how you get rich. This is how you
No.
grow your business, and go buy a boat or something.
Right. It's
Um,
not platitudes.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
I don't live by platitudes.
yeah,
That's just not my MO.
yeah,
I don't want anyone to waste my time, and so therefore I'm not going to waste other people's time.
yeah,
So here's actionable information that you can implement today,
mhm,
and period, end of story. And thank you for, continuing to give women photographers the space to speak.
yeah,
Because that does not always happen. And if it does, it could be sometimes condescending.
mhm,
So thank you for
yeah,
not being condescending.
yeah. I feel like I have a very low bar of like, thank you for not being a jerk.
Yeah. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for seeing the totality of a person.
Yes. Yes. And that's it. Like we're all people. Like
Hmm.
it shouldn't matter whether like what color your skin is, what gender you are, anything like that. Like we're people, and
Hmm.
uh we're equal. So I am happy. I am so I haven't even finished the book yet, and I am excited for people to get this
Woo!
book, to read it. I'm excited for like the second half to get through. But yeah, it is. We've talked about a lot of it, kind of like some snippets
Yeah.
from the book here. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to kind of touch on about the photo CEO?
Um, yeah, I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff. I know there was something that we didn't get to. There were two things. I guess the first thing I want to say just about the photo CEO, like I want
Mm,
readers to walk away from it with a few things, but just I hope people walk away with the fact that I mean what I say.
yeah.
And I wrote this from my personal experience that I am still currently living. It is not something that I am far removed from.
Yeah.
It is not, you know, oh, here's my theories of the no, it's from me actually doing the work, failing, succeeding, failing, making a lot of money, losing a ton of money,
Mm-hmm.
you know, recalibrating, all of those things. It literally is based off of things that I have done and also speaking to other photographers because in the book I actually invite photographers and other industry professionals to share their insights as well on things that I am not well versed on. So I hope when people read it, they get a better understanding just as who I am. I am ambitious. And there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with being ambitious.
Yeah.
And I'm also honest and no bullshit. And
Yep.
so I hope people take or see that when they read the book. And it's for you, whether you're booking your first client or if you've been in business for a long period of time and you still haven't even broken 50K yet, like this book, I believe, will help you achieve both.
Yeah. Yeah. If you've kind of like hit that plateau of like, I
Hmm.
don't know what else to do, but like this isn't really working,
Yeah.
um, it is great. But yeah, all of that you just said comes through loud and clear in the book. And like I love that you wrote it in your voice too, because I was like, oh yeah, no, I can hear you talking as I'm reading. I'm like, yeah, there was no like buttoned up stiff kind of talk, and I love all the little like parentheses and just like adding stuff in there. I was
Yes.
like, yeah, that's how my mind works too.
I talk that way and I write that way.
Hmm.
And a really good friend of mine, Michelle Clo, she actually designed the book cover and also was my proof reading editor. And,
Nice.
she's known me for, oh my God, over 10 years.
Mm,
And there was no one else that would trust to edit the book for me because I knew that she was going to keep my voice intact. And that was something that we talked about. She actually offered to do it, which was a blessing
yeah.
because self-publishing is no joke, y'all. It is a part-time job to self-publish a book. But she offered it, and she's like, I really want to. I don't know if you have someone, but I would really love to proofread your book. And I said, absolutely.
Here you go. This is great.
Here it is. And so this has just been an amazing experience. Like this, I say this in my acknowledgments, towards the end of my acknowledgments, that this entire self-publishing process has shown me that I am valued, supported, and loved. And so I
Hmm.
hope that that comes across when people are reading this book for the first time and when you decide to pick it up again. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, cool. Yeah, and I will have links in the show notes
Yes,
for
I have to send you
everyone.
links.
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone go pick up the Photo CEO. Before we get into like where people uh, can contact you and
Yeah.
just like follow along and all of
Yeah.
that. Part of the show, I don't know if we did this 2.5 years ago or not, where we talk about what we're loving.
Mm.
But it's part of the show now, where we just talk about what we're loving this week,
Yeah.
which could be literally anything. Um, what are you loving this week?
What I'm loving this week. I'm loving getting my midday walk in
Mm,
because sunlight is very important. Allergies be damned.
yeah.
And, when I'm not trying to save the world, I just watch a ton of shows. So I'm really loving, this is so random, but I'm really loving Will Trent on Hulu.
I've
It's
heard of this.
it's like a crime show, scripted. a scripted crime show.
Okay.
The main actor, I don't remember his name, but he was in Transformers, one of the Transformers movies, like
Okay.
Revenge of the Fallen or something like that.
Okay.
Um, he's really good as this character, as the main character. And I am really loving two more things. I'm really loving X-Men 97, like
Okay.
the reboot,
Mm-hmm.
quality,
Where
quality,
can
right? It's on
where can we
Disney
watch that?
Plus.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. X-Men, yeah, Disney.
Disney Plus. It
They're
is.
buying up everything.
They're buying everything, and
Which I'm okay with if they're putting it on Disney Plus for free. I mean, included.
I know
Sorry,
what you
not for
mean. No, I
free.
know what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really great. Just quality writing, like just really good. It's a cartoon.
Mhm.
And so cheesy. I have been rewatching Bad Boys for Life in
Nice.
preparation for
Uh-huh.
a Bad Boys Ride or Die. Like, if someone were to ask me, how many times have you watched the trailer for Bad Boys 4? My
Mhm.
response would be yes.
Yeah. It is constantly in the background right
It's
now.
just
Just
so good, and I will always watch them fight crime.
yeah.
So
They're just a great duo.
they're a great duo, their comedic
Yeah.
timing, and
Hmm.
also the way, just from a cinematography standpoint, just like the color grading, just the action, it just takes me back to a good action movie of like the
Hmm.
early 2000s, yesteryear, like,
Yes.
so there's a little bit of nostalgia for me. And I love Miami. I've been to Miami plenty of times. It's where I like to go at the end of the year for a
Hmm.
reset. I love Miami. It's yeah. So those are the things that I am currently loving. I'm
Nice.
trying to think if there's anything else. And press on nails. I don't
All
have
right.
any right now, but
Yeah.
press on nails from Chill House. They're called Chill Tips, and they come in different colors and
Hmm.
patterns, and they last for like 10 days, like really good quality for like $16. So
Okay. That's a good deal. Okay. I might have to
let your wife
share that.
know, share.
Yeah. Yeah. She
Mm-hmm.
recently got her nails done and it was the first time that anyone's like shaped her natural nails
Mm-hmm.
in a way that looks like press-ons and like they look really good and she
Like,
was
it's
just
giving
talking about
almond shape.
yes, very much. And like she keeps like running her finger underneath like to find the seam of where and she's like, "Oh yeah, this is my actual nail." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a good nail salonist. What are they called? I don't remember. Um
Manicurist.
manicurist. There we go. I was like, I know it's not cosmetology cuz that's like
That's
makeup
like
and
the
stuff
umbrella
in the
that
hair.
everything falls under.
Yes, yeah. That's the whole salon and then everyone's got their different things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll share that. I'll share that with her about those press-ons.
Yes.
Cool. I'm also loving a show. We're just gonna give all the show
Yeah,
recommendations
please.
this
Let's
week.
do it. Let's do it.
It's on. Ooh, I think it's on Prime. Let me see if I wrote that down. It is. Yeah. Amazon Prime Video. It's called Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and it's like kind of a reboot, but not
Mm-hmm.
of the Mr. and Mrs.
The
Smith
movie. Yeah.
movie from like the 2010s, and it's great. Donald Glover is on fire. I love anything that he does. I
Yeah.
have been a fan from like his like Community days.
I was gonna say he was in Community.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
many people have loved that show, and I have not gotten around to watch it. And maybe that's something that I binge watch before Bridgerton comes out in May.
yeah. That's coming up. My wife is showing me all the clips that they're
I'm ready.
releasing.
I'm
She's
ready.
like, they've just been teasing it for like 6 months now.
I'm ready. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
getting ridiculous. It's getting out of hand.
yeah, yeah.
Like, it's either release it or just like leave me alone. You know.
Hmm. But yeah, I think you would like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
It's a very it is not the uh wait, who was in was it
It
Angelina?
was it
No.
was Brad and Angelina
It was Brad
before
and Angelina
before they
before they were
declared their love for each
Brangelina.
other. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it is not that relationship. at
Okay.
all. It
Okay.
is just like two completely different people. Donald Glover and then Maya, I forget her last name. Um,
Aren't they a couple in real life, or am I making that up?
they may have.
Or do
I don't
they
know.
just have
In
a like a
they
really strong working relationship, I think.
they've got great chemistry.
Okay.
So it may just be some interviews where they just like were playing off each other and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
they might be together.
Yeah.
But like I love how it starts off because they just do not like each other.
Mm.
Especially she does not like him,
Mhm.
and then it's just like kind of progress from there and how they're just like thrown into being spies. And yeah, it's
Okay.
really
Okay.
interesting. It's
Okay.
fun, you know. It's got like humor and like sexual tension and
Mm.
action explosions and gunfights and all that kind of stuff.
I love a little
So
tension.
mhm, mhm. And but yeah, no, it's good. I've enjoyed it. I have not finished the whole season yet, but the
Okay.
first few episodes have been pretty solid.
Okay. I'll add that to my queue.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay. Tamara, where can people find you? Where can they follow along, cheer you on with this book, go purchase it, all the
Yes,
things.
yes, absolutely. First, thank you again for bringing me back on. I hope this was enjoyable for everyone as it was for me. I had a really great
Hmm.
time talking about all the things. So you can find me currently on Instagram,
Okay.
Tamera.Darden. So it's spelled Tamera. So just like sister, Tamara Mulry, it's spelled and pronounced the same way. If you want to check out my work, go to dardencreative.com. If you want to purchase the book, you can just type in The Photo CEO by Tamara Darden or just The Photo CEO on Amazon, and it is available in paperback and Kindle.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, and I'll have links for all that in the show notes. So everyone listening on, Apple, Spotify, all that, you can just
Yes.
scroll on down, click over, get your book, go follow Tamara, uh, and then do a little screenshot or something. Let us know what
Yes.
you thought about the podcast.
Yes.
Uh, but yeah, this was fun. I feel like we just picked up from where we were 2.5 years ago when we
Yeah,
talked.
I think so
Um,
too. Yeah.
yeah, it feels like not much time has passed, although a lot of things have happened in the last 2.5 years.
Yeah. This definitely
But yeah,
felt seamless.
yes,
So
yay,
thank you
yay,
for being
well,
my first interview about the podcast. I mean, not the podcast, about
yay,
the book. Thank you so
yeah,
much. Thank you.
yeah. Well, thank you. It was an honor to have you back. I loved getting to talk about the book, to talk about women earning more money and supporting each other uh, and just changing the world. So
Yeah.
thank you for being back on the show.
Thanks, John.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you for the next one. And yeah, bye y'all.